This segment is being brought to you by Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, welcome back, everyone. You can call us here at 615-737-7767. We're going to open up our phone lines here. Till those phone calls start coming in, the breaks are funny, y'all. I'm telling you, the breaks are funny. We're talking about chicken harnesses up here. That was the #2 seller where?
At the Global Pet Expo.
The Global Pet Expo. People are just happy they get about these chickens, aren't you?
It's amazing.
Now, see, we took it for granted when I was growing up. We had probably 200 of them out there. Oh man, we could let them walk a chicken any day they wanted to. But now, being that there's just you're allowed 6 and a rooster here in Davidson County, I guess. So people are making them pets instead of anything else.
Yeah, they'll dress them up. They'll walk them.
They make those little tight uniforms for chickens. I can't help it, y'all. I got something, you know. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but come on. Do they take them riding in the truck? That's as far as I'm going to go. That is wild. That's wild. I want to talk about something else. We've been talking about food plots till the calls start coming in, but I want to talk about this monster meal. You and I discussed it. A lot of people don't really feed the deer or turkeys or anything till it's getting closer to season.
Right.
And that's when it crosses their mind. They get out there. But in actuality, right now is when the deer really needs that. Well, back in January and February is when it really needed the supplements and the meals and the pellets and the food, because the winters were hard. We had some 6 degrees, 7 degree, and 8 degree weather. That's got to play havoc on them.
Right.
So now y'all handle what?
We handle the Monster Meal product. It's a very palatable product, and it's designed for year-round health of the deer. For example, the mineral attractant will help the fawns and also help the mama deers with the milk production.
Right.
A lot of times we don't think about that. We don't think about the overall health of the deer, but with this product, the overall health is what is in mind whenever we want to use this product. And of course, it helps with the antler growth as well.
And I want to hit on that for just a second, and that is the only difference really between Tennessee and Pike County, Illinois. And you and I have discussed this. You know, I was part of the co-op too for years, and we did all the mineral traces and all that. The only difference between Middle Tennessee and Pike County, Illinois is the mineral in the soil.
Right.
And if you're giving your deer on your property or your lease or whatever, if you're supplying them with ample amount of minerals, then they can grow the antlers mass the same as those in Pike County, Illinois, taking that they get, they have the right habitat and they have age.
Right.
So, I mean, it all goes hand in hand, but still, before you can ever say, I want a record class buck on my property, you got to supply them with the things that it takes to get there.
Right.
So minerals are something that we can put back to them.
Right.
And I was amazed. Magnesium, phosphorus, calcium, all those are benzoates. There's others that I know. But I've checked. Tennessee doesn't have them. It stops right about where Fort Campbell is what's amazing. Kentucky's got it. Illinois, Indiana, all those places have it, but Tennessee kind of stops right at the Tennessee line.
Right.
So you're recommending this stuff to use if they really want trophy deer.
Right.
And you also carry My Blend deer minerals too.
Yes, sir.
And I want to harp on that just a little bit, because I've been using that stuff for about 4 or 5 years, and it is awesome. Joe and I both have got licks the size of this whole place where we're sitting here. They've just worn it out. And that helps in the doe's lactation also.
Yes, right.
For the fawns, and they're dropping fawns. They're fixing to start. Now they'll do that from now till August,
Right.
because not all of them got bred at the same time.
Right. And minerals, deer know, just like us, when we know we're lacking something,
They know it.
they know it. And that's why you'll see them digging out the places where you put that mineral. They know what they need.
Kevin, you use it all the time, don't you?
Yearly.
It's a good practice to get in. Now, how do you on these the feeder pellets? How do you do those, Scott? Do you have a feeder or
You put them in a feeder. Of course, they do have I don't know what the word is that they use, but it helps keep moisture from absorbing on that pellet. If moisture does, so it don't just turn into just a sloppy mess. But the pellets are a high protein, just a supplement, and of course attractant, and it's got a good aroma to it to draw them to it.
I want to ask you another question because you brought out a good point. I've used gravity feeders. I've used the spreader or casting feeders. I've used a trough out in the woods, just make a cover trough. What's the best? Because sometimes that stuff sticks, and I've seen mold.
Right.
That's not good.
Right.
It's not good to feed your deer mold.
Right.
So what do you recommend is when you're selling this stuff?
Well, I would always prefer to keep it in a covered area whenever you're using any pelleted feed. Of course, your minerals, you don't have to worry with them like you do like a feed supplement.
Would a castable or spreadable feeder be better?
That would work, yes.
Because it's not clumping it together.
Right,
That's what I think about.
Yes, yeah, keeping it loose where it can be.
And it's easy. It can dry faster.
Right.
If rain does get on it.
Right.
And I know y'all also sell, and I got to say this because one of the best companies that I think's out there is Tartar Gate Company.
Yes, sir.
They've got all kinds of troughs and everything else that you guys sell. They've got one of the best cultipacker systems for ATV. If you just have nothing but an ATV to make your food plots with, you can get that through Davidson Farmers Cooperative. Is the Tartar makes that cultipacker. One of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it does such a fantastic job, but they can get it from you.
Right.
But to go back to Tartar, they make troughs.
Yes. And you can do a lot of the same things that you do with cattle that you do with deer. A lot of that stuff interchanges. You can use bunk feeders. I've seen all kinds of things that folks use for their food plots.
Yeah. We got a caller here. Let's go to Zach. Zach, how can we help you tonight?
Yes, sir. I was trying to figure out, I hunt mainly wooded area. What would be the best kind of food plot, supplement, whatever, to put out there right now?
Scott?
Well, if you want to go with a forage, like we discussed earlier, with it being wooded, I would definitely get a soil sample done. When you have the trees around, those trees are taking up the majority of the nutrients.
And they're going to put acid back in the soil,
Right,
so it's going to be
right.
real acidic.
Right. Of course, with your attractants, that'd be easy to go that route.
Oh, yeah.
I've been using the My Blend for about 2 years out there, and this year I killed the biggest buck I've ever killed in my life.
I tell you what, that My Blend works. It really, really works. It does a great job. He's got a lot of good minerals in it,
Yes.
in that stuff. But I've also seen guys that will have wooded lots. If they've got 20 to 40 yard radius of a place that doesn't have any trees in it, that sunlight can get to it, they'll plant some stuff in there. You can take a tiller or something back there if you can get back there, Zach, with your tiller and just go around it. a little bit. But get you a soil sample and start off first, because I'm sure it's going to be real acidic.
Yeah.
Give me a soil sample, come down there to, say, the Dixon Road Co-op, and
Yes,
talk
sir.
to y'all, huh?
Yes, sir. Just give it to Scott or one of the people there on the counter, and they'll fix you right up.
Sounds good, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Zach. We appreciate it. I've seen them do it, and have some great little food plots. It's not going to be nothing big,
Right.
but if deer are constantly coming through there, they might tend to swing by there just to check it.
And too, if you use brassicas or any of your typical cool weather plants, you might get longer
That's true.
life out of them
With that
it
canopy.
With the canopy.
Yeah, with the canopy being over, you would.
Yeah.
That frost won't do them as bad. But 7-top turnips, kale, Russian kale, Siberian kale.
My blend makes a mixture of that.
Yeah,
Worked
they
really well.
make it all. I love what Randall Staggs with my blend has come up with this Ukrainian radish, that radish seed. Oh my goodness, those deer love that stuff.
Yeah, that one's been a hot commodity last year.
This past year.
The past year, that
Yeah.
folks have really been.
Those
asking
things are
for-
huge.
Yeah.
I mean, they grow big.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was amazed that Joy and I were picking some up, and they were like a carrot. They were that long.
Bigger than a carrot.
That big around.
Yeah.
They were huge, but deer would just sit there and they would paw them up
Right.
and eat the tops.
And they'll do that with purple top turnips
Oh yeah.
too. Once they eat that top off, they'll go to pawing that turnip up.
And I'll tell you something else I found out is after the first good hard freeze, those turnips will turn sweeter for them.
Right.
And boy, they really like them then.
Yeah.
Now, how about beets? Because you always hear about beets up north, sugar beets and everything work well, but I can't find it working. We don't have the right soil here, do we?
That's not one that I hear many folks using. Now there is some attractants that's made up of sugar beets.
Yeah.
But as far as the food plot,
We don't
I'm not
have the
hearing-
sand like they do.
I don't. It's not a loose enough soil, I think. For those.
It's got to be loose and it's got to be able to expand
Right,
quickly
right.
for sugar beets and they have to grow in the ground.
Right.
They can't just pop up like a turnip.
Right.
And grow. As long as that root's in the ground, it's growing.
Yeah. Right.
What is your favorite though? I mean, you said clover earlier, but what's?
Well, I like the My Blend
I do too.
that Randall's got made up. It's you've got a good forage, and that's the most popular one that we sell. Of course, it's very economical, and in the blend you can't beat it. It's what the deer like.
All right. Well, let's go to our tip of the week now. All right, this week's tip of the week is being sponsored by, Scott Cooper and the Davidson County Farmers Cooperative, right there on Dickerson 3511 Dickerson Road. And I'll tell you what, this week's tip, I'm going to help them out just a little bit. We're serious about our deer hunting, serious about turkey hunting. We put out the My Blend Deer Minerals right after season. I freshen up everything out there. We put in the food plots. We take the soil samples. We get the food plots going. But we keep something going for those deer and turkey all year long. And I believe that if that's what you love to do is hunt, and you love to hunt your own property, you got to keep them there. You got to keep them there. Because what happens is they'll find food somewhere else, and they'll take up habitat over there. They won't necessarily stay with you. So if you want them to stay on your property, you got to make it for them to where they can. Then it's constantly keep something out there for them to eat. It's got to have water. They got to have good cover. Create some brush piles. A lot of people don't do it, but down trees, a lot of people clean up their down trees, leave them laying. If it's a big enough tree, let them lay. They will get up under that or get around that, and that acts as a barrier to keep them warm during those cold nights and cold days. So we hope that helps you out. Remember, you got to make them stay on your place so that you're able to hunt them later. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we got another recipe for you that is, I don't think it's going to make it through the night. Hurry back to more. Southern Woods of Waters.